And we're back. Another week, another episode of the Best of Both Worlds of Wrestling podcast. I am Chris once again.
And I'm Khalil.
And we're just going to jump right into it, man. I can't remember how long we recorded, a week and a half ago? Maybe? Or a little over a week ago?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, and this might be the slowest out of ring news week in like the entire month, or like a month and a half.
Maybe longer, yo, because
yeah,
shit been on fire.
Yeah, true. Well, we need a break. We need a break anyway.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. You put me on some new information about the Cash Wheel of legal issues.
Yes. In
the hot tag here. Put the people on. You know, what do we know?
So, if anyone remembers, last, I want to say August or late July, like a couple of weeks before All In London, Cash Wheeler was arrested and charged. Well, he was arrested for allegedly getting into a road rage incident and pulling out his gun and waving it at the person in a threatening manner. So, what happened now is all these months later, we're February, he is officially being charged by Orange County, Florida for aggravated assault with a handgun, and his trial is set for May 20th. So it won't affect Revolution. He'll be there, as he's been on TV the last few weeks to face the BCC. But I wonder what happens if he gets, I'm sure if he gets convicted, there won't be any jail time. It'll probably be community service or something like that because he waved the gun around and it is Florida and he is a white guy. Like, this is America.
White guy.
So I don't see anything really happening except for like the court of public opinion choosing whether or not they want to cheer or boo him.
But I don't remember the scenario, but I felt like it was something where like he wasn't. He was sort of. I don't remember him. I don't remember reading the story feeling like he did the most. I felt like he was provoked a certain way and like. I don't know.
Because I can't. For what I initially heard is he just flashed it in his waistband. But then I'm like,
something was missing. I'm like, I don't think he actually touched nobody.
Yeah, no, he didn't. But then if the charge is like aggravated assault with weapon, I'm wondering if he like pulled it out of his waistband and like he like just did a menacing gesture or something like that. So that's the only thing I could think of, because otherwise this would have been, your man's would have been in big trouble. This would have been a much bigger story than it is, because it's basically flying under the radar right now.
Okay, fair enough. Cash
we'll see how that goes.
I guess FTR, all the best to him.
Yeah, and FTR,
as long as he's not a Trump supporter, they're all the best to him. You know what I mean?
Word. Word. As far as I know, there's no, at least judging from what they do on Twitter, they support marginalized communities. There's really no racism or good, because them being from the country and being in wrestling, it's it gets shaky. But there's been no evidence of that lately. I think the biggest indictment people have on them is that they're friends with CM Punk and they love Bret Hart
and tequila.
Yes, that is true. That is true. And Dax loves that tequila.
I mean, okay. On Raw last night, they announced that Ole Anderson, one of the founding members of the Four Horsemen, and Arn Anderson's kayfabe brother, passed away yesterday at the age of 81, which I also think is yesterday was the day after, I want to say, Ric Flair's 75th birthday. So people in the Four Horsemen, at least in the original one, them producers in their 70s and 80s, man.
It's crazy, man. And then you got Mongo, who is in the
I'm
I
reserving
guess the last
my
iteration of
rest
the
in
Horseman
pieces.
in WCW. He is you.
But the last
You can
one was
froze up
like
on me a little bit.
Benoit and Malenko, wasn't it? And
Benoit,
Pillman,
Malenko. Oh yeah, Pillman was in it. That the new Four Horsemen.
Brian
Yeah,
Pillman,
yeah.
and
Ooh, I thought I had to sneeze real
Flair,
quick.
because Arn was hurt. Arn,
Pardon me.
bless you. Arn had the nerve issues.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I
That's true.
think Malenko wasn't a four horseman, right?
I think so. Benoit
It was
definitely.
definitely Benoit, and it was definitely Pillman.
Yeah.
Shout out Mongo McMichael while we at it too. He's just now getting inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame,
I know, right?
and my man been retired before the Monday Night War. My
That's
man was
saying
at
because
WrestleMania 11 as a lumberjack.
so he was already old when he came into wrestling, well, like
This man
conventional
just getting
standards.
his Hall of Fame jacket, and he's
Hmm.
going through it over there. So we send our best to him. I used to enjoy some
Yeah.
Mongo, man.
Hell yeah, coming out with the little dog. He
Yeah, well,
introduced
no, I think it was like a little monkey.
it was a little monkey.
Yeah, it was like a little monkey. I used to love that. That was so different, man. He
Yeah.
had such an energy about him, man. He was Logan Paul is a new standard bearer for like outsiders coming in,
Hmm.
but he was cool. I mean, I know he wasn't. They had used to have these memes on Twitter for like Mongo selling or his
Yeah.
botches or whatever. Like it was pretty bad, but I enjoyed him. I legitimately enjoyed Mongo. So
Yeah.
I'm glad he got to at least have that moment to see that he will be inducted. And I
Word.
hope he's able to be conscious enough to watch the uh the ceremonies
Hmm.
and hear his name called and the whole shebang, man. So I'm crossing my fingers for that. That has nothing
Man,
to do with.
bro.
See, this is exactly what happened. I got all the way off of Ole Anderson. So
Yeah.
allegedly, because there's no cases on him or nothing like that, but throughout my time watching professional wrestling and these interviews and hearing people recall things, I think most times if there's smoke, there's some fire. So,
Hmm.
for instance, I'm on pins and needles about, hey man, I hope Triple H name don't come up in none of these sex cases, yo.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
general consensus of the time I heard Triple H stories, maybe he politic a little bit, but most people say he wasn't even like someone that was like out partying, going crazy. He was very disciplined, always in the gym, about
Yeah.
his business.
Yeah.
So I'm a hope that relates to him in other ways, and he stay out the crosshairs of all that's happening because I
Hmm.
like the writing going on. Similarly, all I've heard about Ole Anderson for years is that he was a racist and he was da 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 da. And so I am not necessarily going to wish him any rest in peace. We just reporting what happened and
Yeah.
he
This is
died,
just the news.
and that is part of the news outside the ring.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna praise no racist. Now maybe WWE wasn't sure about what we know or
Yeah.
whatever the case. I'm not gonna knock them because they didn't do too much. I don't think he gonna get a video package necessarily. I don't know.
Nah. Nah.
They gave him a little graphic. I can
Yeah.
move on from that. But
I
you're
think
not gonna get
it's
no well wishes from me. If you was racist, man, I hope wherever you end up, it's a little hotter than you anticipated. That's my
yeah.
feeling.
Word. And I think it's the Horsemen are in the Hall of Fame, right? I
They're in there,
believe.
but Ole's version is not.
Okay.
Uh, what's my man named JJ Dillon?
Yeah.
That version is in
Okay.
there.
Okay. Bet.
Barry
Bet.
Windham, Ric Flair, Arn, Tully.
Got it.
You know what I mean? This should really
Beef.
be the five horsemen because JJ Dillon want to be around, but
Mm.
it's the five horsemen. But it's all good,
James J. Dillon. Yeah, whatever.
you
Yeah,
know.
if he's racist, get him up out of here. Well, he's already up out of here, but you know what I mean.
Oh, jeez, the Lord knows my heart.
Yeah, my bad.
Yikes.
All
Well,
right,
hey, man,
so
that's the risk you run when you want to be racist, man. People ain't gonna honor you, man.
mhm,
So hey, we laugh.
do what we want.
Um, yeah, man, fuck it. Uh, lastly, in the hot tech segment here, they also announced on Raw yesterday. Well, yeah, I guess I saw it on Raw, but The Rock sort of said it on Instagram also. He'll be at SmackDown this week, and
Making the
all this
rounds.
harkening back for me is that we really got The Rock back on like regular television.
Hmm.
You know, probably since his feuding with John Cena days, but it's not the same. Like this is like character Rock.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is not Dwayne Johnson
No Fruity
primarily.
Pebbles promos. I mean,
And
well,
they doing this shit where they probably gonna like make you wait till the end of the night till he come out, and I'm, as a matter of fact, I won't even, I might miss it actually. Now that I think about it, I'm traveling on Friday to go to Dallas for my goddaughter's birthday party on Saturday.
okay.
So I don't know what we're doing Friday night, but I may miss SmackDown off the strength of that. But I hope it's good, is what I can say. I definitely hope it's good.
Yeah. Come out, cut a little promo. I know people were a little dicey about this last promo because it seems so like out of touch with the whole Cody and his girlfriend Seth Rollins. It's like, dude, it just didn't seem like
I like that one. That
fresh.
was mad funny. That should make me laugh. His
I didn't even peep
girlfriend
it. I
Seth
gotta go back and
Rollins.
watch it actually. I saw the vest though. I saw
Yeah.
the little that vest was, it's crazy because it was like I saw a picture on Twitter. It was like a fusion of his past personas. It's like the vest from
Yes.
Hollywood Rock, but the Versace style pattern from corporate rock in that era. And I'm like, you know what? I like that. I like that.
I
That's how you
see
got to
what you
do it.
did there.
Yeah. I see you,
They got
Dwayne.
one more box to check off, son. They have one more box to check off. You know where I'm going with it?
Were you at the
I
concert?
need the music. I need
Oh,
the
theme
music.
music. Yeah,
The
yeah,
rock concert would be great,
yeah.
but just give me the theme song. It
Word.
goes well with booze. It goes well
It
with booze,
does.
man.
It does. And you got to see. I feel like Hollywood Rock's not complete unless you see that footage of the helicopters flying over Los Angeles with the spotlights and everything. Like you need that. You need it. It's just the cherry on top.
Yeah, man. I don't need this new version of the song, man. Give me Hollywood Rock, boy.
Listen,
Any day of the week.
I'm sure they
So
still
in the
own it.
last week, hmm?
I'm saying I'm sure they still own it.
Oh yeah. It's on. It's you could play it on like streaming services and stuff. It's still there. They got that. They got that. It's a matter of want.
Yeah.
That's all. If they wanted to, they will. Um, what wrestling have you gotten to watch within the last week?
So
What's your slam of the week if you could pick something?
I missed Raw, so I can't pick anything from there. Last week's Dynamite was, it was weird. Like it felt so there were a lot of people injured and there were a lot of wrestlers who just were not in town for Dynamite last week. So that's why if you watched it or read the results, it seems a little like weird, like some of the matches they had and everything and some of the segments they had. But I'm gonna go with Collision from this past Saturday. Hobbs and Sammy Guevara, they had a hardcore match, no disqualification match to open the show on Collision, and they went. I think they went through about 10 tables, like so
Ooh,
many crazy spots,
watch
so
the
many.
highlights.
Yeah, he did the
Let
swanton
me
off the
ask
ladder in the ring through the tables.
you
Insane.
think they'd be doing too much for television?
It's sometimes I think that, but then other times I think it's like they don't have monthly pay-per-views. So
Mm-hmm.
they need an attraction to draw eyes to the television product, and as a
Okay.
result of that, you get these old, not overbooked, but matches with stipulations that you wouldn't normally see for free on regular television. Like you might see a ladder match, a table match, or a hardcore match on Raw, but you won't see it as often as you see it on a Dynamite or Collision. Like it might be rare you get a no DQ match on Raw. instead of just like a straight up one on one or tag team match. But they had to I think part of it is the story about how their ticket sales were struggling in the past, and I think doing matches like these or advertising matches like these are a way to draw people in to buy more tickets to the shows, and then trying to get the ratings up because it's still a Saturday wrestling show at the end of the day. And now with the NBA doing the Saturday primetime stuff, now it's gonna be you might see more matches like this happening on at least on Collision. Dynamite they've been paring it down lately, but Collision, yeah. So I'll go with that hardcore match. It's my sandwich, especially because Hobbs won, and
Oh, Hobbs did win. Okay,
yeah,
I saw
Hobbs
you
did
saw
win.
highlights, and I know Guevara did something with Jeff Hardy the week before, and there was some type of little controversy after that. And I
Yeah,
seen them run through this table. That was a crazy bump.
yeah. At least
Um,
it was. They did it better this time. So Hobbs was spread out across two tables.
right.
So I think Sammy had like a bigger like area to break his fall. I think the thing what happened with Jeff was their heads collided a little bit on that landing because Jeff had like like a mild concussion from it, but
Ah,
no real serious injury from it. Thankfully for him.
I'm glad it wasn't worse.
Yeah,
Um,
and Sammy's a little bit crazy too. Like I think he himself can tone it down a bit, but I feel like he does it because he feels like that's the only way he can get over.
well, speaking of tables, what you got to do for your homework is watch New Day versus Imperium from Raw last night,
Mm.
which was wild to say the least.
Yeah,
And there's two spots that Xavier and Kofi do towards the end of the match where you're just gonna be like, damn. And then you think about how long they've been doing this, and you're just like,
yeah,
yo, these guys,
yeah.
how do they do it? That's my slam of the week, man. I enjoyed the hell out of that match. Um, and I don't know if that's the climax to their rivalry at all.
Because they've been beefing for a minute.
Huh?
They've been beefing for a minute. Because I remember they had a brawl through
Oh,
the
I'm
arena
lying.
a couple weeks ago.
What's his name? Lost. The New Day lost, by the way. Sorry, Imperium won.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm thinking about it. Imperium won, but New Day just took some wild bumps. It was a great
Yeah.
ending. Um, but it may be over. They also teased some stuff with uh maybe Gunther and Sami Zayn, which I wouldn't
Okay.
mind for the title, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind Sami Zayn ending the streak. Um, I'm not really with the Jey Uso ending the streak thing. I like how they did that to make it a catalyst for him to fight his brother eventually. I think that's a
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
interesting match.
That's definitely
Um,
more compelling match. And of
but they
course,
also they
Drew
also
hating
they
on
also
him.
teased they also teased Dominic Mysterio versus Gunther last night, which that can't be
Nah.
WrestleMania neither.
Nah, that's got to be a random Raw match. Like, that can't
Maybe,
be
man.
like, nah. No.
And
Gunther,
we all love and hate Dom, but I'm just saying,
yeah.
you know, um,
But
but
Gunther
we'll see.
Sammy's definitely the better match.
I think you create a better story. Sammy plays a great underdog,
Hmm.
and he could believably wrestle Gunther and win. I think,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
could take a beating. You know,
Yeah. And Gunther's just been on like this run has been great. Just from the in ring stuff to him on the mic, everything is he's just been firing on all cylinders, man. And it's crazy because when he was Walter in the Indies, like his talking wasn't his thing. He was like a silent assassin. And like I never would have
I
expected him to be
thought that
this
last
good on the
night.
mic. Hmm.
I thought that last night. He was cutting a promo, and he seemed so comfortable in this character, and
Yes.
he's just like, you
Yes.
know, you caught them shots of him recently, like when Jay Uso come out and the crowd is doing the thing, and like Pat McAfee is doing the thing,
And
and
he
you look
turning
at
around
Pat
and looking at
McAfee
Pat.
like,
Pat's like, ooh.
"Come, hey man, what are we, what are we doing here?" That should be cracking me up. Like he's figured it out. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought to myself last night, I was like, yo, when I'm of course, I'm not a big indie guy.
hmm,
But I caught some of the matches he had at NXT. Like I got an idea what it was, what this is
yeah,
all about. He
yeah.
was not that. He was not
No,
doing all this talking, none of that. So I'm like, whoa, this dude come a long way. This dude take the mic, addressing the crowd, and he said some stuff. If you catch on YouTube, it was good stuff.
yeah, man. Like
And
he don't need. He
I hope it
just
ends up being him and Sammy.
yeah,
So we'll see.
yeah. Like
We'll see.
I initially thought he would need a manager as he got more comfortable on the mic, but he like it's just natural to him. Like because he nothing seems forced when he's speaking or anything like that. It just feels like he's been doing this his entire career, at least on the mic. Like
Yeah,
we know
just
in the ring, he's been that dude. But
hmm
but yeah, shout out to him, man. And if anyone was worthy of this lengthy IC title run, it's him. He definitely deserves it.
they found the right one, man. They
Yeah.
found the right one, and I don't know if they ever wanted to just make sure they got Honky Tonk out the way with that. I don't know, but
I
that's
mean,
like a
they could
legacy.
have. They had numerous opportunities to get Honky Tonk out the way, like realistically. But
The business is changing again, though. It's going through like
yeah,
they say like history repeats itself. Like long
yeah,
reigns were a norm,
hmm,
and then we went through like 15 years of like hot shot in titles, and everybody's a 10-time champion now,
yeah,
and now we're back
yeah,
to long reigns or the norm. You know what I mean? Seth has had the belt for at least 7, 8 months, whatever it's
hmm,
been. Uh,
yeah.
Roman's had it for God knows how long now, years. Gunther has had it for like a year and a half. You
I
know,
think Rhea's on a what? Rhea's on should be on the year
it's
at WrestleMania.
yes, should be a year at WrestleMania, yeah, or
Yeah,
around that time,
yeah,
yeah. So like, and they found ways to keep things interesting.
mm,
Um, they'll trade off the U.S. here and there. They'll trade off the women's tag titles here and there. They trade off the men's tag titles here and there. So they're figuring it out.
yeah. It's got to be a
But yeah,
healthy balance.
Gunther is doing this thing, man. To your point, um, we'll see what Mania holds for him.
Yeah.
Um, let's get into the chamber, man. Perth, Australia last weekend,
It's Aussie, Aussie,
and
Aussie.
the fallout from that, man. Did you get to watch?
I did not. No, I was that 5 a.m. start time. I couldn't do it. I got home so late Friday night that I didn't wake up on Saturday until like 10 a.m. So I was like, yeah, ain't
It
happening.
fucked me up. I tried to do it like a real fan. Well, not tried. I did do it like a real fan,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I had to get new glasses that day, so I had to be up. I got up around 4:50 a.m.
Hmm.
I took a sandwich out that I bought. I prepared, and I watched for a while, and I watched the whole thing,
Yeah.
and then it was hard to get through the end of it. And I went back to sleep for a couple hours. Went to King's Plaza to get these lenses.
Yeah.
Came back home, had to change to go to brunch. When I got back from brunch, I fell the fuck out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I watched it
I
to
heard
see
the
what I could.
pacing could have been better.
Nah, I thought. I mean, the show was fine. It was. I thought the matches were entertaining. They were just barely a handful of matches. That's all.
Yeah,
So it
that like
wasn't.
so what I see, it was said what was it? Like they said the Grayson Waller effect was damn near a half hour long segment, which is fine because it's Australia. These people don't get to see this a lot. You know what I'm saying?
I
They
thought it
need
was
that.
entertaining.
I think it said 55 minutes between the end of Judgment Day's tag match and the bell for the men's elimination chamber. Now I'm assuming those matches were back to back.
Yeah, I mean the chamber matches were long,
Yeah,
but they
but
were
like
good.
no, they're saying the time between the end of the tag match and the start of the chamber match was almost an hour, just with like
Oh,
ads
okay.
and commercials and stuff like that, and entrances and everything like that. So insane. But with these international shows, you can let it fly because these people They don't get. They're not. You don't know when the next time they're gonna see this, so you got to give them
Like,
everything.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm not beefing. I'm not beefing. I decided to wake up and watch it, so like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna beef about it. That was my choice. Um, but to think about, let's see if I can recall it from memory. Women's Chamber was the first, I believe.
Okay.
Becky Lynch won, which we all figured.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
No surprise
but
there.
it was very frenetically paced. The ending was really good. With her and damn, how did the ending go? It was just very
It was her and
random what
Liv?
happened at the end. Huh?
Was it her and Liv as the last two?
It was like, yo, it was like it almost ended like the men's joint, man. It was like these guys, I don't know, it's like there's three people left and then one person got eliminated and zoop, someone else came in and you know what I mean, like real quick.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, but Tiffany Stratton had a great showing.
I saw her little I don't not little, but I saw her swanton bomb off the top of the chamber onto the all the ladies,
Yo,
and like there
they
was a
loved her over there,
visceral.
man.
I heard they were upset when she got eliminated because I think Becky
Yeah,
was the
Liv
one who
Morgan
eliminated her.
eliminated
Oh,
her.
Liv eliminated. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, and they were pissed.
yeah,
But that's okay. That's okay. At least you know that she has an audience over there. Liv will be all
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Um, then they did yeah, New Day faced the Catch Republic, New Catch Republic. That's Peter Dunne again and
Oh,
Tyler
Judgment Day, you
Bate.
mean?
Yeah, they had their match. It was a good match, but Judgment Day won.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Grayson Waller effect, that was a thing. Cody stated there that he wants to face The Rock. He wants to fight him, have a match with him, 1-on-1. How and where that happens remains to be seen. I guess that's what SmackDown's about this week.
Yeah.
Um, but I thought it was a good promo, and I think also you're gonna slowly see a dissension between Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. I think they
Okay.
teased that there. I don't think you saw it too much last night, but that might be a thing that happens by Mania. Um, yeah, the men's Elimination Chamber, and
I saw highlights of that. I saw Kevin
yeah,
Owens going stupid, headbutting the chamber, trying to get to Logan Paul.
what the women had the high spots, the men made up for it in the theatrics and the
Yeah.
antics. You know, like Kevin Owens banging his head on the plexiglass like a
Hmm.
madman.
Losing
I
it.
always love those spots where like somebody really hates somebody in the chamber, and when it's time to get out, they be like, "Nah, close the door."
Yeah, like, oh,
So that was him and Logan. That shit
keep
was
him
funny.
locked in.
That shit was hilarious. Yeah. So there was a
Like,
little bit of that. You had
mm,
the spear from Bobby Lashley to Logan through the joint, which was
okay.
fun.
Or
Um,
AJ came through.
that's a beautiful setup for a match for LA Knight at
Yeah,
Mania.
yeah,
That ending was crazy. So like AJ came through, he jumps him, messes up his chances, and then there was Logan, Randy Orton, and Drew left,
yeah,
and uh Logan ends up getting pinned, but he still had his brass knuckles on, I think. And so they move on to Randy and Drew.
yeah,
And so Randy and Drew's there and they doing their thing. Randy hits a RKO on Drew. He's like, oh, that's not what I was expecting. Logan Paul's still in the ring. You forget. He come knock Randy out with the damn with the knuckles. And then of course, like Drew's character right now is mad funny because like he just picking up the pieces. What do you want me to
yeah,
do?
yeah.
Like
Oh,
he's like, fuck it, let's get it. Hits him with the finisher, and then he wins. You know, I love how they're booking like the Drew finishes, man. They're creative
yeah,
as hell, and it's
yeah.
like you can't blame them. Anybody would take advantage of that.
Like, why
You
not?
know, why not? Exactly. You know, makes sense to me at least. But predictable finishes, right? Then you had Rhea against Nia Jax, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And
Yeah, that
yeah,
moment
that
for
was
her
just
coming out was crazy. Just like,
just a lot of fun, man. They both did great. Um, yeah, it was very predictable, but the match, everything was entertaining. I don't have any complaints. It's just
yeah,
obviously the start time, but like you know,
I feel
I like
like,
little fun stuff like that sometimes. I'll do it sometimes.
yeah, I feel like a lot of the pay per views before Mania are predictable because they start planting seeds by the Royal Rumble about what's going to happen at Mania. So you're basically just watching for the spectacle instead of the result because you already know what the result was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Becky came out on Raw weeks ago to cut that promo and Rhea came out to confront her, we knew that was going to be the Mania match even before Chamber. Same
I
thing with
wasn't sure yet,
Drew.
you know.
Nah, the way they did it, like just like the things Rhea was saying about how much she respected Becky and how they didn't have. It's been years since they. I think it's 4 years, 4 or 5 years since they've like been in a match with each other, something like that.
Mm.
So once they were playing that up, I was like, all right, this is it. And plus, this is the only Mania match that still seems fresh right now. So
That's fair.
and then the Seth. Well, it was going to be Seth Punk before Punk got injured, so I figured the next best thing was to pivot to Drew, since Drew was on his Hate of the Year tour, talking big shit to everybody who listens. So that's not surprising. But although there was an outside chance I thought Sammy might win if he got in the chamber. I thought he would win, but
They're gonna slow burn Sammy, but I think he in line for some recognition
yeah,
within the next year.
yeah. Oh, and congrats to Bronson Reed. He
Yeah, yeah,
confirmed
yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
Twitter he was missing the show because of the birth of his son. So congratulations to him and his family.
Yeah, did you see Triple H's tweet to him? He's like, "Yeah, man. Look, it's a new day into the WWE, man.
Yeah,
It said, be there for your family. Fatherhood is amazing. Yada yada." I was like, "Oh, that's great.
yeah.
Have the support of your boss
No more
for human
300
moments like
days
that."
on the road and shit like that.
Ricky Steamboat could never, man. That's why he had to leave, man. Just wanted to be there for his kid,
Hmm.
you know. So we're glad to see that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, big
officially
shout
the
out to
road to
him.
WrestleMania now.
Word,
Ophioyo.
you
And
know.
then we got speaking of pay per views, we got Revolution coming up this Sunday for
This is it,
AEW.
man.
Greensboro, North Carolina, the last match, official last match of the Stinger. Um, I don't know if you caught any of Dynamite last week, but his promo,
Oh, about his dad and all that. I
yeah,
saw that. It
oh
was it
man,
was one of the best Sting promos ever,
yes, yes. I was
ever
like, all right,
in his
listen,
whole life that I
I
ever
like,
watched.
I was like, he sold the match alone in that promo. Like, even though the build has been going on for a couple of weeks, he solidified that match with that promo. And listen, as you
Yeah,
know, we've been banging the drum. We want to see flashes of the old Sting visually as well. So I got high hopes. It's a tornado match, so it's gonna be chaos, no
shenanigans,
tags. Yeah, it's gonna be shenanigans.
shenanigans.
We'll see if Sting decides to do one last big dive off of a balcony or ladder or
He's
something.
diving. He's
Yeah,
diving.
I think
What
it's
I
almost a
don't want
given.
for his last match, and I know he's probably going to make sure he don't do it. Do not bring the North Face flight jacket, bomber jacket. I know you got a trench coat somewhere. I know, but like, damn, we're not gonna get the singlet all the way. Like,
Yeah, yeah. At least
uh,
give us. I will take the singlet with the t-shirt and the trench coat over the flak jacket, t-shirt, and regular ass cargo pants and
and
work
Dickies,
shoes.
nigga.
Like,
What the? When did we get to Dickies Sting? I hate when wrestlers do this and give us no type of explanation. It's like when
yeah,
Shawn
bro.
Michaels went to wearing the chaps pants.
Yeah, I
I was like,
mean,
why, man?
yeah,
But
I
I
mean,
later learned like
the
part of
knee
that was like he had a
braces.
big ass knee brace under there.
Yeah, and that was the reason Rey Mysterio went to the baggy pants at one point too.
Nigga,
So
come on, man.
one
Come on,
last
Sean.
time
All y'all just
for
be
the
waking up and
culture.
changing it up.
Just do it for
Y'all
the
think it
culture
look
one last
good?
time,
That don't
say.
look good.
And I would love for him to come out to his crow theme from WCW, or
Oh, good
at least
luck.
a
They
close
don't. They don't own
recreation
that.
of it. Yeah. Well,
I
no,
will
you
say
know,
this though. Their Sting theme there is not bad though.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
AEW is
yeah,
not actually too bad with the theme songs. They're
yeah.
pretty solid.
Oh, yeah, I'll
When
give
I'm
him
talking about
that.
the unlicensed ones, like their own originals, they're not too bad.
Yeah.
They're not too bad.
Now,
I
but
give them that.
Stings has that little aura of Kane in the beginning with that
Yes,
guitar riff, but other than that, I fucks with it. But so we got that match. That should be a banger. We're gonna see. I'm interested in seeing how that match ends. Like, will they? I could see both scenarios of the Bucks winning the titles. I could also see Sting and Darby retaining, and then them just relinquishing the titles at the end, and like in honor of Sting. But we'll see how that goes. Got that triple threat match: Hangman,
correct.
Swerve, and Joe, which will be after this Wednesday. After last Wednesday, I'm thinking more Joe retains. Joe retains because in that they had the 6-man tag main event, and Hangman's sole focus was to injure Swerve, but he was so focused on that they didn't win the match, and he ended up injuring his own ankle at the end of the match, which we found
Right. I
out.
did see that.
Yeah, it came out later that it was a kayfabe injury. Um, and Jerry Lynn was mad that that information got out. He was like, "God forbid we have a cliffhanger for next week." But I think fans were so worried about him being legitimately injured that like the like reporters dug and just had to get that information out. Plus, they always dig for that information anyway. So, but yeah, I think Joe retains. Joe's gonna retain. It's gonna be Swerve too obsessed with Hangman, and Joe picks up the pieces from there.
Yeah, I'm with you. I I don't. And I also just didn't think they would try to make Joe like super transitional.
Yeah,
You know,
nah,
I don't know if he's gonna have a long run. Because they're putting so much focus on Swerve and Hangman and trying to heighten their rivalry to like that main event level. So
yeah,
I think eventually Hangman gets out the way. I think Swerve eventually becomes a champion, but
mm-hmm.
not now.
Nah,
Not
nah,
now. So
nah,
yeah, I'll give him a couple more months, and we'll see what happens.
yeah,
Um, I'm not clear on what the rest of the card is looking like. I am honestly looking forward to whatever happens in the Sting match.
mm-hmm.
I know that I feel like AEW to a little bit of a degree is treading water for a quick second because they got like allegedly two debuts happening in coming weeks
Yeah,
with Mercedes
yeah,
Moné and I want to say is it Okada that they say
yeah,
is going over there?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okada.
So and they're sort of saying that like they might appear on like the same show.
Yeah,
You know.
that's what the rumor is. And then Osprey is coming this week, so
So I
this is
mean,
it's a lot of big debuts. But well, Osprey is going to be at the pay per view, so he has a match at the pay per view. He's facing up Takeshita from the Don Callis family. Osprey is also a member, allegedly, of the Don Callis family, so it's supposed to be a friendly rivalry. But we'll see how that goes. Will ain't the type to be like, I need a manager or someone like engaged in the shenanigans for me. But the other matches, they got Daniel Bryan, Brian Danielson versus Eddie Kingston for the Triple Crown belt, which has been basically been they've been feuding essentially since Bryan came into AEW.
mhm.
So this past Saturday, Bryan fought one of Kingston's heroes, Jun Akiyama from Japan. Um, hit him with the handshake and low blow after the match to piss Eddie off, which he finally did. He was trying to get into Eddie's head for weeks, and he finally did. Eddie snapped. So I think Brian Danielson wins it. I think he finally gets gold around his waist, even though it's not the gold we expected him to have. But this whole him not winning championships, he needs to stop that because he's doing it to himself. Like he's actively choosing not to become a champion. So I think it changes with this because it would just be ironic for the only title he wins in AEW, he beats the person he hates most for it. But we'll see how that goes. We also got Toni Storm versus Deonna Purrazzo for the women's
Timeless.
title. So that should be actually, as far as the in ring goes, that should be a really good match. Really, really good match. Both phenomenal wrestlers, and I think they're both highly motivated for this match and by this story anyway. Um, I want to say Tony retains because I think Deonna just came in. Ain't no, I don't know how fair it would be for her to just come in and become a champion of a woman who've been, building themselves up the card. But she also is one of the best wrestlers already on the roster, the women's roster at least. So, and then if Tony does retain, what's the next compelling story for her to engage in? Maybe Mercedes debuts and they interact a little bit.
Too quick for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It might be a
I
little too
mean, they should
fast.
cross paths, but I don't think they need. I
Yeah,
don't think they need to be in a program off rip. You
yeah,
know, but I do think you keep Tony Storm as a standard
yeah,
to then
yeah.
eventually have Mercedes take the title off. I do think you keep that and find creative ways to keep her interested.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Let me say
I'm
this
sure they
because
will.
I ain't chance to remember this earlier, but I did watch. You might have caught wind of it. O'Shea Jackson Jr. on Chris Van Vliet show at
Oh
his
yeah,
Ice
yeah,
Cube
yeah,
son.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
He
yeah,
had comments like we all have made about how AEW introduces characters to the contemporary casual fan,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
and and this is a great example of that. Like you schooling me on some of the history, right?
Yeah,
And I'm not totally clear. Maybe I need to watch more, but I don't know how well they're conveying what you're conveying to me
yeah,
about like the history between Eddie Kingston and Brian Danielson. Or because like to his point, he was like, "Yo, y'all bring in random people for like these one
yeah,
offs, and the people that know them is the ones that pop, and the rest of us are like, okay,
yeah,
hooray."
yeah. I think
So they gotta contextualize that stuff a bit better, in my opinion.
I think part of the issue with that is they have they don't have a brand split, but they treat the roster as if there's a brand split. Like a lot of the stories going on Collision are isolated to just Collision. Um, it's
Okay.
only recently, within like the last week or two, that like stories have been crossing over between Collision and Dynamite. So I thought that
Mm-hmm.
was one of the biggest issues. And it seems they're slowly, well, I hope they're on the trend of trying to remedy that because, like I said, it's a Saturday wrestling show. You're not going to get the same audience, as large of an audience as you get for Dynamite. So
Nope.
people are going to be totally clueless because they're not that. Dynamite is one thing. Collision, I know only the legit fans are watching every week,
Yeah.
or DVRing it and watching it later. But I also think the notion of the casual fan is I don't think you should be trying to capture the casual fan or be so focused on capturing the casual fan because they're not going to be watching week to week. So they're going to be, a lot of people follow wrestling mostly on social media via clips and everything like that. I think what you focus on is the lapsed fan. The fans who watched you in the beginning and it fell off and they were like all of a sudden like this doesn't appeal to me anymore. Try to get those back. Because a lot of their issues that people are attributing to the casual fan, I believe, are also can also be attributed to the lapsed fan. Like the whole not introducing people the correct way, the whole some matches not having stories behind them. Like people will just, and O'Shea said it himself in the interview. He was like, I just won't watch. Like I just won't watch. And I think that's mostly from the reaction he gets from fans on Twitter who get so defensive about AEW that they attack anyone they perceive is getting at AEW in a negative way instead of trying to be like, all right, let me tell you about this wrestler and give you a clip and link you to a YouTube or this, that, and the third. And it's tricky, but I see where he was coming from, and
I
I
don't
could
think he was
also
bugging.
see, yeah, I could also see where the track is like my biggest criticism of his comment was wrestling is a weekly show. It's not something you could pop in and out of for the most part and think you can just continue to keep up with something. Like you have, even if you're not watching every week, you have to have something to supplement. Like you on Twitter, just reading shit or something like that, because it's tricky. There's no off season with wrestling. It's really the only program that's new episodes every week of the year, year after
Mm-hmm.
year. So it's tricky in that sense. But I totally see where he's coming from. Like you can do, like they do a good job of putting like video packages on their social media.
Mm-hmm.
They just need those, put a lot of those on, and they're doing that sometimes on Dynamite and Collision. But we'll see, we'll see. Also, comparatively with Raw is 3 hours long, so they have the room to like stretch things out, add a little bit more information, have a few more promos and video packages there, just because of the time they have, as compared to just the 2 hours that's on Dynamite or Collision.
Yeah, but I mean, they do a good job of like streamlining SmackDown too. To me,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a philosophy that they got to tweak.
Yeah,
Because they're not going to get it done. Whatever they're seeking, the success they're seeking, it's not going to happen with banking on just the knowledge of the hardcore fan, which is funny. Like I feel like I'm a pretty strong wrestling fan. I don't know if I'm
yeah,
hardcore, but like I'm with it. I'm just not
yeah,
immersed in every aspect of it. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
immersed in the aspect that is the spectacle that makes the money.
mm,
You know what I mean? And I respect all avenues, but they're in the national market game. And if you're in that game, that's not the indie game.
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
not the indie game for a reason. You know what I mean? There's
yeah. I
narratives that
think,
got to be conveyed a certain way. So hopefully they get the hang of it, man.
yeah, I
Hope,
think
but
that's the
but this weekend, no shade on them at all. They get to have Sting's last match,
yeah,
and I hope they
yeah,
make it as special as they can make it.
and all the matches besides two have a story to them. They literally just added a match. It's called Meat Madness, and it's gonna be a triple threat. It's Hobbs, Wardlow, and Lance Archer. So just like three big meaty men slapping meat, and they literally calling the match Meat Madness. I think Biggie needs a check. Someone need to cut
Hey
Biggie a check.
yo, oh
That match is gonna
goodness,
slap, so I'm gonna tune in because that match is gonna be good. But damn, yo, Meat Madness,
that'll be fun. That'll be
yeah.
fun. That'll be fun. Um, that might be.
And then they added Daniel Garcia and and Christian Cage. I don't know if you saw Christian Cage's promo from Dynamite, where
Yes, he went into Danny's dead father,
yeah, and yo, so he gave an address when he mentioned Danny's mother,
and it's a
and
cemetery.
it's a cemetery. I was like, bro, son, this dude.
He's a clown, man. Christian Cage is a
He
trip.
did it. Son, he saw Drew McIntyre with the Hater of the Year, and he had to come back and claim his title. He's like, nah, listen. I'm the original shit talker. Even though Drew is slowly winning me over.
That's funny as hell. That's funny
Mm.
as hell.
And
But yeah,
I think Daniel Garcia responded well. It's like, you want to talk so much about my dead father, why don't you come this ring? I could put you in the ground next to him. I like that. A little fire. But yeah, and then I think the only other match they added was FTR versus Blackpool Combat Club in the tag. So it's gonna be Mox and Claudio versus Dax and
the
Cash in a
AEW be filling
rematch.
up their pay per views with mad matches. I don't know if you needed all of that. I don't know if you need them on the card, but it's all good.
Yeah, I'm assuming I'm gonna assume the Meat Madness match might be a pre-show match, as opposed to being on the main card. But AEW also does like they don't do a lot of video packages
No,
for the matches during the pay per view, so they usually just go bang bang back to back to back to back to back with the matches. So we'll see
and
how it
you know
goes.
what the video packages would be good for? Telling the stories. Doop 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 doo. Doop
Listen,
doop
I
doop doop
think that's
doo.
something I think I'll admit to, like a recap video, the recap video that WWE does before matches on pay per views. Like, that's been a staple in WWE for like last 20, 30 years now, ever since, pay per views became such huge media. I think that's one thing AEW should definitely do. Just like, it could be 30 seconds just chronicling everything that's happened between these two opponents before tonight's match. Because there's a lot of people who only watch, I know people who only watch pay per views. Like, they'll see social media clips and stuff like that, but as far as like sitting down and watching wrestling, it's only pay per views because it's only once every couple months. They could dedicate that time and then fuck off for like another month or two until the next pay per view.
Mm-hmm.
See, we'll do that. And then,
Something else.
yeah, but this is it for the stinger, man.
But no
Ric
doubt.
Flair was on Dynamite complaining about how he hasn't been around a lot. He was supposed to be around for this run. And then so he went and had a meeting with the Young Bucks. People are thinking it's going to be the age-old Sting getting betrayed by Ric Flair again. But the twist is, Sting doesn't fall for it this time.
That's a trip, man. I think that's what we got for this week.
Yeah, yeah. Oh wait, you mentioned
On this slow burn, long road to WrestleMania. At this point now,
yeah.
we're 39 days away, and I don't know if I got some press passes to go by March 8th. So another
Yeah.
week and change. Hopefully, I get a yes.
Word.
But yeah,
I
man.
was wait, you
We'll
wanted
be
to
back next week with we'll see what The Rock had to say
I wanted to ask
about
you
it.
about the thing Kevin Nash said about Sting.
Oh, he was saying that people were asking him like if he was gonna attend the last match. He's like, I'd love to, but I'm a WWE guy. Like, I don't want to show up on their television and them have them showcase me, and I'm like, Triple H is my dude type thing.
Okay,
Some
I
people,
think
he's like, Steve is my dude. Like, I fuck with Sting, but Triple H is really one of my close friends. And some people are like, well, I'm sure Triple
why
H will understand, but
yeah.
Kevin Nash decided to look. This is what it's come to, and that's a
Hmm.
decision.
And these Legends deals, that's what it is. So I think people forget, even though these wrestlers are retired, they
Yeah,
have
he can't go
Legends deals
can't
with
go
the
messing up the
WWE.
money.
Exactly. They
Although
need
it's a
them
new
checks.
regime, so like I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Um, you know, we'll see what happens. He'll probably go to an after party or something. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah. They'll probably do something later that week anyway. Do
It's
some
gonna be
shit, fly out
fine.
Monday. But yeah, that's it. So we got this week. What we got?
Yeah,
I
we
guess next week we'll have our um, Revolution review instead of preview. We'll see what The Rock has to say this week on SmackDown. And then well, as of this past Monday, but surely by next Monday, full steam ahead on the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah, man. The Mania card will probably be a lot clearer within the next 2 weeks,
Hmm.
and
Hmm. I don't know.
hey, I look forward to seeing what happens, yo.
Part of me
I'm
was
enjoying
like,
the
should I go
build,
to
yo.
Philly just to
Enjoying the
go to
build.
Philly?
You
I'm
know,
thinking because I'm thinking a weekend in Philly, even though not going to WrestleMania, like shit will be lit out there. Like WrestleCon is definitely going to be happening during that weekend.
he's probably mad indie events. Even I mean,
Yeah.
WWE got this thing called WWE World. They doing for like 4 days at the convention center.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's gonna
yeah,
be
yeah,
a
yeah,
huge spectacle. So it's gonna be Disney World for wrestling fans, man.
yeah.
Hopefully I could get out there and check it out, man. It'd be a good
Um,
time.
yeah. Nah, I definitely part of me definitely been thinking of just shooting down to Philly just for the hell of it. It's just seeing that there's events I can crash and things like that. But I don't know. Did they announce a Wale Mania?
Huh?
Did they announce a Wale Mania for this year?
Yeah, they announced it. They haven't. They're honoring Shelton Benjamin.
Okay. Okay.
Um, yeah, if I end up going to Philly, I'm gonna try and get some tickets. I'm definitely trying to go to the Cheap Heat show, and I'd like to go to Wale Mania. So
Yeah.
I don't know how much they charging for those joints, but I'm gonna see once I
Word.
get some confirmation in these streets.
Word.
But Wale Mania is a good time. I got to attend during the Kofi Mania edition when
Hmm.
they honored Booker T, and I was in the same bathroom with him. That's my claim to
Yes.
fame. And did not want to say hello because we were in two separate urinals across from one another. And I was like,
You know,
not gonna
it's
bother Booker
bathroom
T.
etiquette, man. Bathroom etiquette.
Awkward. I did get to speak to Queen Charmel, who was a lovely lady and was a joy to speak with. She was nice, and
Hmm.
I said what's up to Samoa Joe and Tyler Bate. A lot of people was in there. A lot of people was in there. Luke Harper was in there. Rest the dead.
Yo, shout out to Luke Harper, man.
Shad Gaspard was in there. Rest the dead.
Yeah.
You know,
Damn.
the What Culture dudes were in there. I seen Simon Miller up in there. I didn't get to say what's up to him. They're in their section or whatever. I didn't get to say what's up, but Simon Miller and the crew was in
Yo.
there. I
So I think
seen
they get
Foley
the
daughter up in there.
oh,
I was like right
Noel.
across from her. She cute, cute
Yeah,
self,
yeah,
man. I mean,
she a nice one.
they
She a
was
nice
all
one.
in there, yo. They was all in there that night
Yeah.
at Sony Hall. It was a
Nah,
good
let me
time.
try. Yeah, let me see what it's looking like.
It was a good time. But but yeah, man, that's all for us, folks. We look forward to coming to y'all next week.
Yep, yep.
Uh, we hope that all the rest of the news that we have for you next week is good news. You want no bad
Yes.
news, and
Yeah,
Ole Anderson can stay where he is.
yeah. Wherever he's at, we know. Down there. But we still don't got a catchphrase for you this week.
I'm gonna make concerted effort to think of one later.
Yeah,
I promise you.
we got you next. We got you next week. We're gonna put it on the record so that we have to do it. So boom. Um until next week, peace out.
Yeah, man. We see y'all when we see y'all.